everyone, welcome back to Art a la Carte. This is the last part of a 5-part series on how to color hair with using colored pencils, kind of basics. I've taken 5 different kinds of hairstyles, hair textures and types, and so far 4 different colors. We're going to add 1 more color. If you have not seen the first 4, I highly recommend that you jump over there, check those out. Well, let's go ahead and do this one right here. So this one here is probably going to be the most challenging of all 5 of these. Oh, for one, it's longer hair, it's fuller, it's got some curl to it. And 2, I'm going to push myself to do something fun. So we're going to do an ombre effect. Now, I have done an ombre effect in a picture that I'm working on in my sketchbook. There's pictures of it in Instagram. So here it is right here, this picture that I'm working on. Obviously a lot more detail than what we're working on in these videos, but as you can see, it starts off with this dark kind of blue and then goes down into like a lighter shade of blue as it goes down. And this isn't even done yet. I'm still definitely putting a lot more work into this, but I want to kind of do that effect with this girl right here. But with this one, I want to start off with kind of a purple on top and ombre down into pink. So let's get started. So what we need to do first of all is, like we did with these guys here, we need to find out where our highlights are going to be, and those are the parts of the head and hair that are closest to the source of light. So we're going to say the source of light is kind of coming out towards kind of the back side of her, like over here, going down on her. So the crown of the head right here is going to be highlight, and then any of these curls that pop out towards the light at that point where the curl is coming out, the point that's closest to the light is going to have that highlight. So if the light was coming above, it would be the crown of her head here, and then right at the very tip top of as each of these curls are crowning out. If it came from below, it would be kind of below here, and then at the bottoms of each of these curls. So I'm having it kind of come this way. So it's going to be right around here, 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 here. And so this is the hard part. This is where you just have to keep track of where all these curls are and make sure you don't put shadows there. Easy? Yeah. Let's go ahead and start off with a kind of a lighter shade of purple. And it actually has a really vibrant color to it. So I'm going to use a really light pressure as I put it on here. So I'm going to go ahead and just very, very lightly begin to lay this shade in. I'm not going to bring it all the way down because down here I want it to be pink. I'm going to bring it about halfway to start off with. And again, still paying attention to those highlights. I'm going to draw around them. If you want to, you can kind of etch in where you want your highlights to be so that you don't accidentally color over them. Just make sure that as you do that, that you draw super, super light so you're not seeing these lines going in around. Okay, so I have my first little bit of color right in here, and you can see again it's really, really light. Now I'm going to begin applying this color a little bit harder pressure, so you're going to see the vibrance of this color coming out. And again, now I'm beginning to move my pencil in the direction the hair is going, and I'm just doing this in the parts of the hair that are pushed back, the lower part of the curls. I also want this lock here to pop out, so I'm not adding any color to that right now, but I'm going to darken in behind that, and you'll just notice it poop, pops that right out. I'm going to kind of gradient this curl up towards these here. Add a little bit of shadow towards the crown as it goes out to the crest of the head. Begin to move that pencil in the direction the hair goes. And because I want this curl to really be more pronounced, and it's out farther than these ones, I'm going to have a little bit of a gradient color coming out from there. And you'll see how that just bumps this out, pushes this one back down, and has to kind of come out this side. And I want this curl here to be popped out, so I'm going to bring this color down. This is where it gets tricky. You really need to keep track of how the curl is coming out and the direction the hair flows to make that curl. So if you're having trouble with this, look at reference photos, look at your friend's hair, you know. Okay, at this point I'm going to stop with the purple. I'm going to begin laying in some of my pinks. And I'm going to start the same process that I did with these. I'm going to do with this pink here. And I'm going to kind of blend where this purple comes down. I'm going to blend that into the pink, so it kind of creates that ombre look. Drawings like this, I think, are like such a good brain workout. I can't do things like this a lot if there's a lot of people talking to me or if I'm watching a movie, because you really have to concentrate on so many different things at the same time. In fact, it's actually kind of challenging for me to do this and remember to tell you what I'm doing, because I'm like, I want to just focus on what I'm doing and not how I'm doing it, or how do I explain what I'm doing. So a lot of this just comes from just trial and error and just looking at, I would get books from hairdressers that show different hairstyles and cuts. And nowadays you can just go online and look for hairstyles and cuts and things, and it just really helps you to see those. And I would just draw hair, and then I would color it, and I would look for highlights and shadows, and I would look at artists who, you know, created the kind of hairstyles and coloring techniques that I liked, and I would just study how they did it. How did they get that curl to pop out? And it wasn't something that I was able to do, you know, overnight or even in a couple of nights. It was years of practicing and working at it. But, you know, just never giving up and always trying hard and all that good stuff. And it just begins to work out. I'm taking a darker shade of pink here, and I'm going to now begin to pull in my shadows where I really want to push things back or pop things forward, using shadows. And again, always the motion of the direction of the hair. Because this is a dark color, you want to make sure that your lines are not ending abruptly. They're not dark and then just ending. You want to make sure that they gradient out. So as I flick them up this way, I will come down and flick them down this way. I'm getting a really strong light. What is the sun coming out? It's supposed to be raining or something. The more that you practice at this, the more proficient you become, the faster it will go. It won't, you know, take you hours and hours and hours to complete, you know, a hair coloring session, especially something this size. Obviously the ones like what I'm doing in my sketchbook still take me a long time, just because there's a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot of curls in that. But you do get faster at it. You get to know what you want to do and how you want to do it, and how the shadows look and how your tools work. And what's fun about this is the techniques that you use for, you know, these hair, you can use on other things. You know, you can use it for coloring, you know, animal fur and stuff like that. You know, the same principles apply to finding the shadows and the highlights, and, you know, so something like this could easily be, you know, a horsetail. Okay, now I'm going to grab in a much darker purple. Again, you want to keep it nice and sharp so you get those nice crisp lines. And you remember, you don't want to be covering up over your highlight or even your mid-tone. You want to just kind of use this sparingly to kind of get that nice color that you want. So I'm going to find the locks, and in between them I'm going to kind of push back so it kind of makes this nice texture to the hair. As the hair kind of clumps together, in between those clumps I'm going to darken that up a little bit. Now I'm going to get a really dark pink. This is a processed red, but it's really a nice magenta color, and I'm going to now do the same thing over here with these. Get in my shadows there. Okay, you notice I've been leaving a lot of these curls white. I haven't added any color to them. It's just because I haven't decided what I want to do with them. If you have something you're like, I'm not certain what I want to do with that, just keep leaving it and you'll figure it out. Like I want to put a little bit of purple or pink in the top part of her hair. Because if I was her, that's how I'd color it. So I want a little bit of that right in there. And vice versa, I want to put a little bit of this purple coming down into some of the lower tendrils. Just to add a little bit of fun to my drawing there. So add some dark color in there, and then I'm going to take my lightest pink and I'm going to kind of blend a little bit of this. Now I'm going to take this and kind of just burnish a little bit of it. But I want to be careful as I come up into the whites of my hair, my highlight. I'm still not, leaving this blunt end to my light pink. So I'm flicking that up, but it's not super sharp, so I'm covering a lot. So there we go, we have all 5 finished. Woo! That was a lot of work. My hand is very tired, but well worth the time and effort to put into those. It was good practice for me. Hopefully you found it very helpful for you. If you did like these videos, I would love for you to let me know in the comments or give it a thumbs up. If you really enjoyed them and found them helpful, be sure to share these with your friends and family. That's always fun and helps me out, helps get the word out about this channel. Share this across the social media so that other people can find out how much fun it is to use colored pencils to color with, and how it's, it's not something to be scared of. It's something that you definitely have to put some work into, but it can be a lot of fun. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. You guys get a thumbs up if you watched all 5 of those videos. Let me know in the comments. Did you watch all 5 of them? If you did, tell me. I watched all 5. Woohoo! Thank you guys so much again for hanging out with me. And until next time, God bless you guys, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.